Hey, good morning, guys, and happy Mother's Day. And a lot of you guys are probably going to go celebrate mom and grandma today. And it's really this time where we honor the life they've given us, everything they do for us, how they serve us. Literally, when we're born, obviously, they're the ones who birth life to us and really do everything to sustain it. They feed them, they feed the young kids, they clothe them, they do everything. And we're going to talk about the Proverbs 31 woman because what I really wanted to share with you is even it says all creation speaks of us, the real ability within us. And so even when we see physical mothers, it's really pointing to something even more powerful, which is the mother within us, the female aspect to create any life we desire that we see in Proverbs 31. So ladies, none of you have to live up to that. In fact, we were kind of chuckling last night at House Fellowship that said, if you go to these Christian stores and where I grew up, it'll say something about a Proverbs 31 woman, and you see it in a kitchen or something where a lady has, and said if that was really you would be an unproverbs 31 woman, pretty grumpy, because this woman never turns her lights off. She works all day and night. She does everything. And that's not what it's talking about. It's talking about the unlimited creative ability within you to birth any life you desire, to experience any life you desire. And so you can relax. That's not something for any of you ladies to live up to. It's impossibility. I've never met one. And even though my wife's pretty amazing, that's not what it's talking about. So ladies, relax. It's really talking about letting the creative ability of God, this woman within you, the ability to create any life you desire and experience any life you desire. And somehow the mystery of the kingdom, just like planting a seed, like we've been talking about, it's springtime and my wife and Samuel planted bulbs, tulips, and daffodils through no more effort of their own. They planted that seed, and somehow it knew what to do to take all the nutrients, the minerals, everything to birth this new life from the earth. And it talks about that as it's in the parable of parables. It says there's two gardens, one physical birth, and then there's a garden within you, the mind of man, that you can literally experience anything you desire. And the whole journey, guys, is to learn how to experience any desire you have. If you have a desire, it's a gift from God, just trying to express life through you. And so if you have a desire, you can take that to the bank and go, I have that, and start to experience it in your imagination. And what you experience in your imagination, when you start to feel it is already done, present tense, where you're experiencing it real time, or you could be experiencing it where it's past tense in the sense that it feels so amazing that that this is my life. And in your imagination, you're rolling a scene over until you start to feel the emotion of how peaceful that is, how abundant you feel, how unlimited you feel, how free you feel. Any of those drivers, any of those desires that you have. So when you take any thought and use your imagination to experience it as if it's already done, you can trust that the woman within you that's personified in Proverbs 31, which is that creative ability to experience any life you desire on earth, that somehow the whole world, if it takes all 7 billion people, will take the time, the money, the government, whatever it needs to bring that to you. You don't need to worry about it. There's not anything that you need to do beyond that. It'll just unfold the best way for you, whether it's it'll just be natural, whatever you need to do. It'll just unfold for you, just like planting that bulb. So that's what this Proverbs 31 is really talking about. So let me just show you. And because you can experience anything you want. And I'll share. If you start Proverbs 31, it says the sayings for King Lemuel. If you go look at Lemuel, it's really the king of Shalom. If you go look up Lemuel, and so the peace of God. And so it's talking about in the beginning. I'm going to really start in verse 10, but he's talking about is it not for strong drink? Don't kings desire strong drink? Well, kings are you and I, guys. He's given us the kingdom. And so God's royal rule and reign is given to us. And in fact, it was the Father's good pleasure to give us his royal rule and reign. And so it's the strong drink, guys, with the juice of the grapes. It was feeding on the wedding feast of intimacy, where once that seed is cast into the woman, they fed on the wedding feast, the strong drink, the juice of the grapes of the wedding feast. It's really as pleasurable that is in physical intimacy. He's talking about there's another woman within you that is more precious than anything, and it'll bring you the treasures from afar and anything you desire. And so it says, hey, give if there's anything that you're poor. So it says this woman defends the cause of the poor and the needy. So if there's anything you experience that you feel like you're not experiencing, or any need, I'm telling you, you have the creative ability within you to bring it to pass, is what this beautiful scriptures are talking about. So anyway, let's look at verse 10. It says, the virtues of a noble woman. And like I said, ladies, verse 10, a wife of a noble character, who can find? That doesn't mean like, oh my God, it's really hard to find a Proverbs 31 woman, as I'll show you when we go to interlinear here. So it says, literally it says the wife, or the feminine side of you, within you, of noble character. Let's just look at noble character once. It's Kayil. And it says the strength, efficiency, wealth, army, it's all this capability, activity, the abundance of this thing within you. It's unlimited. You can experience anything, no matter what it looks like, guys. This is what he's trying to show you, is this discovery of the ability of God within you to use it in love, where it's the best for both, all parties involved. So it says this feminine part within you is wealthy, it's efficient, it's like an army, it can do anything. Who can find? It's anything or anyone, whoever can find. And can find just says it's a verb, to attain, to find, cause to become, is powerful and able. So here's what it's saying, guys. This feminine aspect within you is able to bring you wealth, efficiency, power. She's far more precious than rubies. So where does this happen? Verse 11, the heart of her husband trusts in her, and he lacks nothing of value. So the heart is lev in Hebrew. It's the casting of the seed from the rod of the inner man, or your mind or your heart. That's the male part of you. Trusts in the female part, the spirit within you. It says this is all trust within, and whatever you believe, when you realize that you have this ability, guys. It's not your supernatural level of faith or anything. In fact, most of the Christian teachings I've grew up with actually hurt your faith, because they're trying to tell you, you have to believe these things, then you're in faith, which is not even close, because I see a lot of people believe that, but they're not experiencing any of these things, this Proverbs 31 moment. What it's saying is, when you take your imagination and you feel how wonderful it feels to be experiencing it real time, or like I said, you could do it in past tense, where you go, it's so amazing that everything worked out even better than I thought. Whether it was money, whether it was relationships, whether it was health, you're just enjoying how awesome it feels, and you're experiencing it right now until it brings an emotion. That is a seed cast out, guys, and it will return with no more effort on your own. It'll unfold in your life perfectly. There's nothing more for you to do. This woman within you is able to bring you everything, is what it says. And when you trust within, it's just trusting that God's given us this beautiful gift of imagination and emotion, our hearts and minds, where when you experience it, you can trust in that the minute you picture something as already done, it is literally taking the spirit and bringing it into physical reality in your life. Now go to bed. And in the next couple of days, honestly, look with expectancy for it to come about. Look for like, oh my God, this woman, this creative ability within me has brought it to me. You don't have to wait over and over and over and over and over, guys. That's not what it's about. Just as the example I was using again is when Samuel and my wife planted those bulbs, they weren't worrying whether they did it right. They didn't go, well, can you come into agreement, and all the things that people do. They, with expectancy, couldn't wait. They were excited, knowing in total faith that seed has everything in it to bring it to pass. And it's trying to tell you, that's who you are. You can get excited about life because you know that whatever you just imagine, absolutely positively is being brought into your life. So if you keep reading it, so this inner man, the heart of the man, the ability to create from within, trust with the source that God's created us within. We lack nothing of value. She brings him good and not harm all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She's like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She rises while it's still night to provide food for the household, meaning just as an earthly mother, guys, brings life and nurtures and cares for that child, the spirit within you, the ability of God within you, nurtures you day, night. It's submissive to you. It'll do anything it needs to bring you the life you desire. She appraises a field and buys it. From her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength. She shows that her arms are strong. She sees that her gain is good. Her lamp is not extinguished at night. See that? Come on, ladies. This isn't about you. This is about the ability of God within you that never sleeps or slumbers. So you can take your Proverbs 31 woman sign down, because it's not talking about that. She stretches out her hands to the distaff and grabs the spindles with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and reaches out her hands to the needy. Guys, if there's anything you lack or if anything you need, he's trying to explain to you in this scripture, find this woman. This woman, it will take care of anything you could ever need. Fulfill any lack that you think you're experiencing. She's capable. And so I'll just go right back to the wife of the noble character. So that's this feminine aspect of you, the ability to create, is strong, it's efficient, it's wealthy, it's like an army. Just think of the greatest army in the world. It's trying to give you that idea that nothing could stop this from happening because of its strength and wealth and efficiency. And then who can find this find? It's really interesting where it's matzah. And so the ability to attain, capable, powerful, if you go look at it, all of it. And it's the three Hebrew letters, Mem, Zod, Aleph. And Aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And there's the strength of the covenant, the physical covenant, the earthly covenant below. There's a resting man, Vav, and then there's the strength of the covenant above. So you were one with God from the very beginning is what it means in Hebrew, and how you experience the creative ability of God, where you can do it. He came to give you life, the lower covenant, we're all birthed, and then the life more abundantly, the spiritual covenant. And so that is the strength of the covenant, the strength of the ox, the ability of God in covenant. And then Zod and Mem. So Mem, it's an interesting thing. It's number 40 in Hebrew, and it's turbulent waters. This is the flood waters, or the flowing of a woman's period. And so the 40 all through scripture represents the time for instance, for an embryo to take life, where that seed is received by the woman. And it takes 40 days basically for the embryo to form. Then it takes 40 weeks for that birth to happen. So 40 is always significant of stopping the floodwaters of the woman. Well, ladies, once your floodwaters, the turbulent waters of you are stopped, that means you're pregnant with that life, and that seed is going to bring it to pass with no effort of your own. But Zod is really an interesting thing. So Zod is the resting man, and there's a yod above it, the finished work of the covenant above it. So this is not talking about physical intimacy. This is talking about that's resting. This is the resting man, the man at rest. But there is the strength of God in covenant above it. And I've showed you over and over that word Zod literally says it's a fish hook and draws to it anything it needs to bring it to pass. And so that's the imagery of this thing. And so it's just as you experience anything you desire, you will obtain it. It has the power, ability, the efficiency. And so let me just give you an example. So it'll take care of any need you have, any perceived need you have. My friend Dan and his nephew Jordan were over last night to fellowship. Some of you guys may have heard this on the online fellowship, but here's just an example. So they have a big cattle ranch in western Nebraska here, and it was really dry and drought, and there were fires, and because it was so dry, and a lot of the people were really nervous, that they hadn't gotten any rain for the cattle, so I think it was 2 weeks ago or last week, I don't remember, where Dan with the prayer team, he just said, hey, you want, let's experience it, where he goes, I hear my sister telling me, holy smokes, we're so appreciative of the rain. It rains so hard, I can't believe how muddy it is. And he was sharing it with us last night. That week, they hadn't had rain, fire warnings all throughout. He said, my sister called, and he goes, almost used the exact words. So this woman within you is abundant, it's efficient, it's wealthy, it's like an army. It'll take care of any need and take care of any apparent lack. And it's as simple as you envision what you desire, you feel it in present tense, you enjoy it in your imagination, you create a scene and you enjoy it as if it's real right now. And that is matzah. It takes that and literally brings it to physical reality through no effort of your own. It draws to it like a fish hook, anything it needs to make that reality come to pass. So let's just say another friend I was talking to on the phone yesterday, and This is just real examples that happen all the time. So I like to share these testimonies where he called me a little over a year ago and they were struggling financially. And a lot of people have been there, and it's okay. But he took this creative ability of God and he just started to see himself enjoying life, totally being able to take care of his family, traveling wherever they wanted to go, making enough money, making more money than they ever had before. And so he said, I just started going within and going, it feels so amazing that I'm making more money than I've ever experienced before. Now, this Proverbs 31 woman in you has the unlimited abundance, has limited efficiency, has unlimited ability to bring that to you. It's like, if you go look at it, it says it's like merchant ships traveling from afar, meaning this is what you do in your imagination, the secret place. You can't see these merchant ships from afar, but all of a sudden it comes on the waters. The ships bring all those treasures that you just imagined in your mind and bring it to you. The wealth of the world is brought to you. So in this case, in less than a year, he called and we were talking about some different things. And he said, I'm going to make over blank hundreds of thousands this year. And it was a pretty big number. Went from struggling to pay his bills, simply found this woman within him, which is just the creative ability within you guys, your mind and your heart and mind, where you imagine it, experience it as if it's already done in your mind. You experience that joy of having it, that peace where you're feeling yourself already enjoying it. It feels so wonderful that I can travel anywhere I want and take care of the needs of my family. I feel so successful. I feel so abundant. I feel so free. And like merchant ships from afar, they take it from the secret place. It births it and brings it to you through no effort of your own. It comes to you. So ladies, you can relax. Happy Mother's Day. This Proverbs 31 woman is not you trying to live up to it. In fact, it's you finding this woman within you. That's the creative ability within you. So the Spirit serves you and it brings all those things to you so you can just enjoy your family. So hope that helps, guys. God bless.